Hi everyone, Dr. Suneel Dhand, internal medicine doctor. If weight loss is your goal for the new year, you are not alone. Now that it's 2022, a lot of people are really trying with their resolutions. And in fact, statistics show that 50% or more people have weight loss as a goal for the new year. It's a resolution. Unfortunately, for most people, it quickly falls apart within the first several weeks, and this happens for a number of different reasons. It's not surprising that weight loss would be a goal for most people out there, especially in Western countries. In the United States, 2/3 of people, in fact over 2/3 of people, are now overweight or obese. That's a shocking statistic, and it has gone up exponentially over the last few decades. The UK is not too far behind, as are other Western countries. And this hasn't happened by accident. It hasn't happened because our genetics have suddenly changed over the last 50 years from what they've been for the last few 100,000 years. It's happened because we as a society eat the wrong type of food, way too much junk food, and we are too sedentary. And in fact, any of you can prove this for yourselves by simply looking at pictures of your parents' and grandparents' generations, even go and look at videos and see how much smaller and more in shape people were then compared to now. And it is absolutely atrocious that the medical establishment is not talking about this more. I'm going to spare you my 4-hour lecture on how medical establishments across the Western world are completely failing to address this very serious topic. Why is being overweight or obese a problem? Well, this isn't just about how people look. It is also about health risks. I can show you charts that show that for every increment your body mass index goes up above the ideal range, your risk of getting many chronic lifestyle diseases, including diabetes and heart disease, also goes up. What is body mass index? Well, you can go online and calculate this for yourself. It's a function of your weight and height. It's your weight in kilograms over your height in meters squared. We come to a number. 20 to 25 is considered an ideal BMI. 25 to 30 is overweight, and more than 30 is obese. Now, this is accurate in most people. I would say the vast majority of people, this gives an accurate measurement of being overweight or obese. There are some exceptions. I would say the biggest one that I've encountered is in people who have a high muscle mass. Bodybuilders, a very select group of the population, will have artificially elevated BMIs because of their muscle mass. But again, that doesn't apply to most people. So, having said all of that, let me share with you 3 tips and some motivation for losing weight. These are very broad rules. In the interest of time here for this video, I'm going to be as concise as possible. Number 1, diet. Obviously the cornerstone if your goal is weight loss. We are what we eat. And I'm not somebody that believes in one-size-fits-all approaches in most aspects of medicine, let alone diet. Everybody is different, and everybody knows what may or may not work for them based on previous experiences. But when I'm sitting down and making any sort of dietary plan with my patients, not only do I take into account their individual experiences, but I do have some broad rules out there which I find hold true most of the time. And I've talked in previous videos how most people out there eat way too much of certain foodstuffs. But the 3 I'd like to focus on if your goal is weight loss is to cut back on processed and packaged foods. The more ingredients a food contains, the worse it's likely to be for you. Go as whole and natural as much as possible. Secondly, sugars. Sugars in excess are absolutely toxic for your body. Again, I've talked about this previously, and it is shocking the amount of sugars that are added to some foods. Most people consume way too many sugars. And lastly, carbohydrates. Obviously, this links to sugars. Sugar is a carbohydrate, but I'm talking about more the complex carbohydrates here, which most people consume in excessive amounts. And that's certainly backed up by research, which shows the amount of carbohydrates that we eat has gone up significantly over the last few decades. And our brains are literally hardwired to go for carbohydrates. They're energy-dense foods. That's our caveman instincts, again, that we have to resist. But what I found is that many people who have successfully lost weight have moderately restricted carbohydrate intake. Again, I'm not a believer in extreme diets, but most people who've cut back on carbs have done well. There are many other foodstuffs that have been extensively written about, like vegetable oils, being careful with those, avoiding too much salt. I'll let you do other background reading, but I want to focus on the basic concepts here. And of course, we shouldn't forget the big elephant in the room, no pun intended, portion size. You obviously aren't going to be successful in losing weight if you are excessively taking in huge portions, which have gone up a lot over the last few decades. How much we eat at every sitting is much higher than it was 50 years ago. Number 2, exercise, being as active as possible, the most important thing after diet. And this isn't just good for burning calories, but will bring about many other positive benefits to your life as well. And what I recommend to my patients, I have the 1 hour a day rule. And people look at me when I say this and think, are you crazy? I can't possibly spend an hour a day on exercise. But you see, it isn't just about the hour. It's about the other benefits you get beyond that hour for the remaining 23 hours. And in fact, if you read a lot of books about successful people, many successful people out there commit to this rule every single day, 1 hour. And if you want, you can even throw in 10 to 15 minutes of meditation in there as well to help you. But that 1 hour a day of me time is incredibly important. And switch off your phone to messages and emails. You can, of course, listen to music. And I'd like you to dedicate that time to physical activity. And what activities should you do? What exercise should you do? Well, cardio aerobic exercise is much more important than muscle strengthening if weight loss is your goal. I'd still recommend doing some muscle strengthening activities at least a couple of days a week at least. But cardio aerobic activity should be your main goal for helping to burn off the calories. And if you've never done it before or haven't got a regular routine, gently get into this, and of course make sure that you're well enough. Speak to your doctor if there's any health concerns before you start any regular exercise program. And if you commit to that 1 hour a day, the benefits will spill over to the remaining 23 hours. We hear this feedback all the time from people in exercise programs. They find that for the rest of the day, especially if they've worked out in the morning, they have more energy, they're more focused, they have more concentration. Of course, the mood boosting benefits of exercise have been well documented, and many people say it also helps with a better sleep. Number 3, other lifestyle measures to focus on. Most people get focused on diet and exercise, which are extremely important, but never forget all the other things that you should be doing to optimize your body for achieving any health goal. Managing any stress in your life, having chronically elevated stress hormones is not good for weight loss. Having a good sleep, coming back again to sleep, 6 to 8 hours restful sleep every single night, extremely important in order to function adequately and at your best during the day. And never forget other things, such as getting outdoors as much as possible, socializing with the right people, all common sense pieces of advice to keep in mind. Let me touch on some other techniques that can help improve your chances of weight loss success. A lot has been written about many of these, including regularly tracking your weight, writing your measurements down on a whiteboard. You can do it on your iPhone. Obviously, many people will do that now, but that can be very motivating indeed. Other techniques, interesting studies have been done on having more mirrors in your house. That can be very motivating to lots of people. And I've even made a video before about how drinking a glass of water before meals can help fill up your stomach a little bit so that you eat a bit less at your meal. There's many different techniques out there, but you should always be thinking along those lines because different things work differently for different people. When people successfully embark on a weight loss journey, I find it one of the best things I get to see as a physician. They will come to me a few months later and firstly they tell me how much better they feel, they tell me how much happier they are, and they will tell me other things as well, like compliments have been flooding their way, and it's the opposite of a vicious circle. It's an improvement circle. And remember, this isn't simply about looking better. It is about reducing their risk of illness down the line. And I've also mentioned previously how one of the best things I get to do as a doctor is when I get to de-escalate or even stop many medications, including medications for diabetes or high blood pressure, because patients no longer need them anymore. Far better to have healthy lifestyle medicine than to take pills. Research shows it takes on average slightly over 2 months before any habit becomes completely normalized. Your brain is an extremely plastic organ. You can get into any good habit if you stick to it consistently, and you get to the point where eating healthy or exercising every day simply becomes routine for you, and you don't feel right if you're not doing it. That's the best position to be in. So remember, nothing is more important than your own determination. As the great Abraham Lincoln said, nothing is more important than your own will to succeed. You can totally do it if you stay focused. And don't be impatient. Things take time. Rome was not built in a day. This is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, but you'll totally get there. Stay focused. That tempting food in front of you, we've all been there before, or the desire to lie on your couch and watch Netflix instead of going to the gym, is nothing compared to your own willpower. So stay focused, stay on target, make 2022 your year if weight loss is your goal. Good luck, you'll be successful. Thanks for listening. Dr. Suneel Dhand, MedStroke Lifestyle Medicine. We'll speak again very soon.